Hello Chris, my name's Mark. Thanks for coming in to see us today. I understand from your JJ worker that he's wanted you to come back into the drug and alcohol service.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you tell me a little bit about how things have been going for you?
Yeah, right, I guess.
Tell me a little bit about this CBO. What's that for?
Probably got it worked out in your file there, haven't you? Why don't you tell me?
It actually doesn't tell us very much. It just says you got busted for an alcohol-related breaking in. What's your version?
Alright. Me and the boys went down to the footy park one night and just having a few brews and a bit of a night footy session, and before you know it, they all got me a bit riled up, and before you know it, I'm pinching a bit of grog from inside the footy club, so I had to break in and stuff. So yeah, the thing about that is that and this is the thing that really gets up my goat, is that it was actually like the other guys' idea in the first place, and they put me up to it, and and then I'm the one who ends up having to go to court and fulfill this order and come to meetings like this and stuff, and yeah.
It sounds like you felt it was pretty unfair. Did they get charged as well?
No, they walked away clean.
Okay. Has the use of alcohol got you into other trouble with the law, or has it been the first offence?
Oh, that was the only real offence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to focus on the alcohol, firstly, you're drinking. How many days a week would you be drinking?
No, I'll probably have a bit most days, I reckon. Couple of really heavy nights, and then yeah, just whenever I can.
Okay. The heavy nights, how much would you drink in a heavy night?
I get pretty wasted. I don't know, me and the boys try to swallow probably 2 or 3 bottles of spirits or something like that.
Yeah. Do you pass out? Like drink to the point of passing out?
Oh, sometimes, but I try to keep my head above water most nights, but sometimes that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you drink the other days? How much would you drink on the other days? A 6-pack?
Oh yeah, if that.
Yeah.
If I can, yeah, maybe not.
Or whatever you can get.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do any other drugs? Do you smoke any pot?
Yeah, hasn't everyone? Sure, you tried a bit of that in your heyday.
It's a fairly commonly used one of the drugs.
Yeah, I do that a bit, but not much. It's not really not really one I'm into.
Okay. Would you do that as often as you drink alcohol?
No, mate. No.
Just once or twice a week?
Yeah, whatever. Just sometimes.
Okay. You do any other drugs? Like
Oh, hey, come on! Look, you're making me sound like a bloody drug addict now, mate. Jeez. Okay, look, I drink a bit, right? Maybe a little bit too much sometimes, but as far as the other stuff goes, just lay off, would you? I'm not here to talk about drugs. I don't really do drugs.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I've offended you, Chris. I don't mean to make out that you're a drug addict or anything like that. I'm just...
Yeah, well, you're not doing a very good job at it, are you?
Okay. They're just routine questions we ask everyone. Do you want to sit back down and we can carry on talking about it?
No, I'm cool here.
Okay. So just to get back on to the alcohol, the things that you kind of like about it, you like hanging out with the mates, having a few drinks, you get a bit wasted. Is there anything else that's good about it?
Oh, I can relax. So chill out, have fun. The usual things.
Yeah. Always drinking with your mates. It's always a sort of a social thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but also just when I'm by myself, when I'm at home and stuff, just helps me relax and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything not so good about the alcohol? Like, Yeah, obviously it's run in with the law a couple of times. With
Oh look, I guess as far as I'm concerned, it's all pretty sweet, but things have been getting a bit intense recently. Like with my J worker and stuff, he's been on my case and that, and mum as well. Like the other day, I had a bit of a heavy night, and I just sort of wanted to sleep it through and chuck a sickie that day and just call in sick and stuff. But I didn't really get the opportunity to do that because like mum's already dobbing me in to me worker, and she's like on the phone to him and stuff, and like she shouldn't be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like she's supposed to be on my side here, and she's got no ground to stand on anyway. I mean, she's the one who's bloody stealing me Ritalin pills from when I was a little kid, wasn't she? So she's just putting her foot in it, and so that means that like the JJ worker's on my case and everything, and he's telling me I'm going to get breached if I don't get my shit together, and then mum's telling me she's going to kick me out if I don't pull it together. If this happens one more time, she's going to kick me out, and it's not like I can go and live with me psycho dad, is it?
I'll just sit down and chill for a bit, Bruce. You have a glass of water or something? Water for you, mate. Just take a couple of minutes. You seem to get pretty wound up there. You mentioned your psycho dad. Has he got a mental illness or?
I guess that's what you call it, yeah.
What happened with him? Is he like getting treatment or?
Yeah. Yeah, he's I don't know, I don't really see him that much anymore.
So he's not living at home?
No.
Certainly, you seem to get really riled up there, and it sounds like you're under a fair bit of pressure at the moment, Bruce.
Yep.
You got pretty upset there when I was sort of talking about drugs. Is that a problem in the home, or?
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Alright, I guess one of the things that we do that's as a matter of routine with all our intake assessments, we like to check in with people to see how their emotional and mental health is. And we've got a screening questionnaire that we ask. It's basically just a yes/no sort of tool, but it's when people are under a lot of stress, is what you've just been describing, and it's probably not a bad idea to just touch base with that.
Making me sound like a bloody mental case, mate.
Yeah, no, it's not to make you sound like that, but it is one.
I just don't think we really need to go into that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's not uncommon. I'm not sure whether you're aware of the sort of media stuff that's out there about the prevalence of mental health issues, but it's not as bad as what people get frightened by the word, I guess. Yeah, basically this is about checking in with people early on, so prevent things from happening, or just touch base with them. That'd be okay?
Yeah, alright.
Doesn't take too long, it's just a yes/no sort of thing. As I say, it's just a routine part of the questions that we ask.
Yeah.
Okay. The first question is mostly around sort of mood type stuff. Have you been consistently depressed or down most of the day, nearly every day for the past 2 weeks?
No.
No? Okay. In the past 2 weeks, have you been less interested in most things or less able to enjoy the things you used to enjoy most of the time?
Oh yeah, I guess with all all the stuff that's been going on at home and trying to fulfil this order and the commitments and stuff, it's been stressing me out a bit. So yeah.
It sounds like you've certainly got a lot on your plate. You seem pretty tense at the moment. Have you felt sad or low or depressed most of the time over the last 2 years?
Oh no.
In the past month, did you think that you would be better off dead or wish you were dead?
No. Try to keep myself alive for the time being. Give myself a few more years.
That's a good thing. Have you ever had a period of time when you were feeling up, hyper, or so full of energy or full of yourself that you got into trouble or that other people thought you weren't your usual self? And that's sort of like times not when you've been, say drunk or using drugs, but just at other times.
Yeah, I guess sometimes, just all, it gets a bit much, and, with everyone sort of, like, really getting up against me all the time, it's sort of making that a bit worse, so yeah.
So you get really sort of wound up. Would that last a few days, or is it sort of...
it's sort of brooding a bit.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever been so irritable, grouchy or annoyed for several days that you had arguments, verbal or physical fights, or shouted at people outside your family? So, you've had or others notice that you've been more irritable or overreacted compared to other people, even though you might have thought you were right to act that way?
Just do one bit at a time.
Yeah. So basically, have you sort of been so irritable, grouchy or annoyed for several days that you had arguments, verbal or physical fights, or shouted at people outside of your family?
Yep. I guess just in relation to all the stuff that's going on, it's just been getting at me.
Yeah, so you make a bit more irritable about that sort of.
Yeah, pretty much. Just having a few more blues with mum and stuff than I usually would, and then a couple of other little incidents, I guess.
Yeah.
Up, here and there.
Yeah, just people outside of your family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So people sort of notice that you've been more irritable compared to other people. They sort of make those sort of comments.
Yeah, well, with all the stuff that's going on, yeah.
The next section of questions are sort of around anxiety and those sort of things. You've heard that sort of term before, anxiety?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So the first question's in two parts. Have you had one or more occasions when you felt intensely anxious, frightened or uncomfortable or uneasy, even when most people wouldn't normally feel that way?
I get a bit sort of worked up inside sometimes when I don't know, like I get the feeling that there are a few things going on with my mum's friends and stuff. Like they want to mum's been threatening to kick me out, and they're really encouraging that. And well, is that kind of answer the question?
Not really. That's more about sort of feeling really anxious
or. Well, that's kind of been making me feel really anxious.
Oh, okay, you've been worrying about it.
Yeah, just that they've been sort of, really, they're just on me. Yeah. There've been a couple of times like that, I guess.
Okay. Did those sort of really intense feelings get to their worst within 10 minutes? So it was like really sudden onset-y kind of thing and really peaked in a quick time?
No, I reckon it's more something that sort of kind of brewed in me, and then just like sometimes just sort of pops out.
Okay, so it's sort of like a constant sort of pressure kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit more like that.
Okay. Yeah. Do you feel anxious or uneasy in places or situations where you might have the panic-like symptoms that we were just talking about? So, you sort of feel that anxious or uneasy in situations where help might not be available or escape might be difficult. So, for example, like say, standing in a crowd, being in a bus or train or car, that sort of feeling where you can't escape and you get that really intense, anxious feeling.
No, most of the time I'm pretty good with that sort of stuff. I mean, I tend to sort of stay out of situations where there's lots of people. Like I don't really like going out to pubs and stuff, and I just sort of But yeah, most of the time, alright.
Is that because you feel anxious in those situations, or you
Oh
just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
crowds?
I just don't really like sort of being with too many other people. Just sort of hanging with my mates and just by myself when I'm not with them, sort of thing.
Okay. Have you worried excessively or been anxious about several things over the last 6 months? Yeah.
Quite a lot.
It sounds like what you've described before. There's a lot going on for you. Are these worries present most days?
Yeah, right now they are. Yep.
In the past month, were you afraid or embarrassed when others were watching you, or when you were the focus of attention, sort of being afraid of being humiliated? So, an example might be like speaking in public or eating in public.
There's a couple of guys at the park where I'm doing me fulfilling my order, and sometimes they just sort of put me in position to make me look kind of stupid and get me to do all the dirty work and stuff like that, and sort of laughing at me and poking fun, and so I don't really like sort of being there too much with them.
Yeah. You're worried that they're going to humiliate you in some way or something?
Yeah, no, also they sort of got it in for me. They really don't. They're just making it so it's harder for me.
Okay.
Yeah, right now they are. Yep. You're getting all the shit jobs and stuff like that,
Okay. In the past month, have you been bothered by thoughts, impulses or images that you couldn't get rid of? They were sort of unwanted, distasteful sort of thoughts, they were just intrusive. You didn't like them, they just kept coming into your head. An example might be like worrying about being dirty or contaminated or having germs, something like that.
Not really worried about little things like that. What was just the first bit of the question?
So just in the past month, have you been bothered by thoughts or impulses or images that you couldn't get rid of? They just sort of come into your mind.
Yeah, like what I was saying about Mum's friends and stuff. Like I just get the feeling that they've really got it in for me, and that's just kind of been on my mind a lot, and I don't really know what to do about it, and it seems to be getting worse, and Mum's not really listening to me. I'll talk to her about it.
Okay.
I'm not like seeing stuff or anything like that. I mean, I'm just,
Just these sorts of worrying you more though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. In the past month, did you do something repeatedly without being able to resist doing it? An example of that might be like washing your hands excessively, or cleaning the house, or counting or checking things over and over again.
No.
No. Have you ever experienced or witnessed or had to deal with an extremely traumatic event that included either actual or threatened death or serious injury to you or someone else? Examples can be things like serious accidents, sexual or physical assault, fire, sudden death of someone close to you.
Bloody drilling.
Yeah, doing a bit of maintenance out there.
Won't let up, it's bugging me. Can you just go again? One bit at a time, maybe?
Sure. Have you ever experienced or witnessed or had to deal with an extremely traumatic event, so that included some actual or threatened death or serious injury, and that could be either to you or someone else? Examples can be things like serious accidents, sexual or physical assault, fire, sudden death of someone close to you?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, which example would it?
Yeah, I guess when I was about 10 or something, there's a bit of stuff with mum and dad went down.
What happened with it?
It's just things got pretty messy. You know, like around the time when the shit hit the fan with dad and mum and everything, got all a bit intense. So I was
like a domestic violence?
Yeah. I was sort of hanging around for a bit of that. So.
Okay, that would have been hard. Do you find yourself re-experiencing those events over the last month? You know, things like having dreams of, or sort of intense recollections of that event, or flashbacks?
No, not really like flashbacks or anything that serious. But I guess I think about it from time to time. I just really hope it doesn't. I don't have to sort of go through any of that sort of stuff again.
Yeah. So it's been over the last month?
Yeah, I've been sort of thinking about it.
Okay. Right, we're nearly finished. We've only got one last series of questions to ask. Have you ever believed that people were spying on you, or that someone was plotting against you or trying to hurt you?
I don't think people are spying on me, but like the boys that sort of riled me up to, steal the grog from the footy club and stuff like that. Like people are just really taking advantage of me, and then there's the guys at Albert Park who were just a bit chummy with the supervisor and sort of making it so I'm the one who gets left with all the shitty jobs and I'm having to do them alone all the time. So I think they're sort of really sort of ganging up on me there, and like as I was saying before, mum and her friends and stuff really wanted me to move, and no one's really listened to me about this stuff,
Okay, so you sort of feel like they're plotting against you in some way to get you out of the house.
Got in for me. They want me to rack off.
Okay. Has that been a thought you've had for a while, or is it more recent? Or?
It's sort of been seeing it more recently, I guess. Every time I come around, it just seems to be,
Okay.
I can just sort of tell by the way they're talking and stuff.
Yeah. Right. Have you ever believed that someone was reading your mind, or could hear your thoughts, or that you could read or hear anyone else?
No.
Have you ever believed that someone or some force outside of yourself put thoughts in your mind that weren't your own, or made you act in a way that was not your usual self? Sort of almost like being possessed in some way?
No, not really.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever believed that you were being sent special messages through the TV, radio or newspaper? No. Have your relatives or friends ever considered any of your beliefs strange or unusual?
I guess my mum's been on my case a little bit recently and just telling me that I'm sort of making things a lot worse than they really are. She doesn't really believe. She reckons the guys at the park are actually just trying to help me and stuff, and she's just not listening to me.
So you're sort of feeling like they're all against you, and she's not agreeing with your side of it?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard things that other people couldn't hear, such as voices or sounds that other people couldn't hear?
No, not really. I don't know, it's hard to say. Yes, I don't know, it's just hard to say.
Do you experience something that you're just not sure?
Yeah, I'm just not really sure. Other people probably getting the same thing, probably hearing it too, but I don't know, just sometimes I'm not really sure exactly what's going on.
Something worrying you.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last question, have you ever had visions when you were awake, or have you ever seen things other people couldn't see?
No.
Okay. Thanks for doing that. That was all the questions that I had to ask. So I know that some of those questions seem a little bit odd and unusual, but it is important that we do run these screens on everyone we see, so it's not that you're unique or different or anything like that. From just going through that questions with you, I'm a little bit concerned, I suppose, about the pressure you're under at the moment. It sounds like you're under a lot of stress. But I guess there are a couple of areas there that you do seem concerned about, that seem to be really playing on your mind a bit. But you feel like people are out to get you, and they're doing some pretty mean stuff. I'm just wondering whether you would be okay to maybe do a joint visit with a mental health worker just to talk about some of that stuff in a little bit more detail.
Is that something we have to do? I mean, I don't really think we'd need to go into it any more than just this thing that you've been doing. Did like my answers and stuff, so does that make you think that maybe like I should?
I think it's worth, just as I said before, about just touching base and checking it out, because you do seem like you're under a lot of stress, and you are obviously easily irritated and get wound up pretty quick. And I guess I'm a little bit worried that it's putting your CBO a bit in jeopardy. You're blowing up at the JJ worker and that sort of stuff.
Alright, yeah.
It might be worth just doing that.
Okay, that sounds alright then.
Alright, well, I'll make a phone call and we'll just tee up a time when they come and catch up with you.
Alright.
We'll just organise it to be in one of the times when you've got to come and see me anyway. So.
Alright, that sounds alright.
Okay, thanks, Chris.